business owners who redefine success, who invest in people, who give back to their community, are not simply business owners. They are SD Metro business rock stars.
Welcome back to another episode of San Diego Metro Business Rockstars. My name is Florentino Buenaventura. I am the host of this show. And as always, we have a great day today. We've got a couple of ladies that are burning up the photography industry, but more importantly, they're making a difference here in San Diego. And I'd like to introduce Dani Alger.
Yes.
I'm trying to get that right.
Yeah.
And then Anna Clevenger.
Perfect.
Right. Wow, I got it good.
Did it.
I'm usually terrible at that.
You did good.
So thank you, ladies, for joining us today. And you two both are rock stars. If it was just simply because of the artwork and the attention to detail that you put into your photography, because I did scope you all out earlier.
Thank you.
You know, it's amazing. But more importantly, you know, there's a story here. There's a passion. You folks met on the soccer field, right?
Yes.
Yes.
On the soccer field.
On the soccer field. So tell us, you know, maybe both, you know, one or the other or one, I don't know. I'm going to address it to both of you.
Sure.
Tell us about the passion for starting your business, and please share with us your website before we jump into it.
All right. Well, our website is dnaphotoandstyle.com.
And style is important because it's not just about a picture. It's about what this picture says.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So very cool. Passion. Where did it come from? How did you guys connect on that special soccer field and that special day?
Well, we were both photographers before we met.
Yeah.
And we both have lots of children that we started photographing. So that's where I think the passion came from individually.
Mm-hmm.
And then our friendship started before knowing we were both photographers. You know, just many, many hours sitting on the side of a soccer field. We were always laughing. And I think the very first time we kind of got really paired up was when the team went for a lunch, and there was a spot for everybody, including the parents, except for Anna and I. So we had to sit at the bar. And we just had so much fun. That's when we were, started talking and found out we were both photographers. And anyway, so.
And I think part of that passion was what connected us so well is that we both felt that we wanted to do something with our lives as much as we loved our children that was independent from just being a mom.
Express
and
yourself, yeah.
We felt that we both had this energy to really do something. It was important to us. And knowing that we each felt that importance, we were able to really help each other pursue this together.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And personally, I don't think I really would have done it on my own to this extent. I think I would have kept it as...
Because you both were doing a day gig before.
Right.
Before,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I would have had the confidence to really put myself out there, but knowing that Dani was doing it with me, we really pushed each other. And I am so grateful for what it's done for me just as a person. Yeah. And it makes me a better mom too. I think it has something to show our kids that, you know, we have things that are important in our lives, and it's not just to focus only on our children.
Right.
Or your families. So Dani, tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, I agree. I think we are much more brave when we're doing jobs together. We are saying yes to jobs that we would never say yes to on our own. But I always say we are extremely high functioning codependents because every once in a while I'm like, well, that job's not that big. We could do, one of us could do it on our own. And then both of us are like, nah, that's okay. We'll just do it. And then, we always go to lunch and have a great time afterwards.
You're total Laverne and Shirley. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Shamizel, shamazel.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally.
I don't think that show worked when it was just one or the other.
Yeah.
Had to be both. So that's very cool.
We're fun together.
Yeah.
We're fun.
So since we're on you, Dani, what did you do before for a day gig And what kind of photography were you doing? Because there's different disciplines, right? So,
Right.
Well, I started shooting the kids, and then I was like, I'm going to turn this into a real business. So I started doing headshots, and I wanted to only work while the kids were in school. So no evenings and weekends. So that took out wedding and family photography.
Yeah.
So I started doing corporate stuff. And that's when I started getting asked to do bigger and bigger jobs, which I was thrilled, but it was just intimidating because to try and be the one to, entertain the client and connect with the client while you're trying to adjust your camera and all these things. And, and then, always the right people and situations show up, and that's when Anna came along.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so how about you, Anna? What were you doing before you guys decided to go soccer shooting? Photoing. You just got to use
Well,
words
I too started photography. I was living in New York, and I always say I was knee deep in babies. I have 4 kids, and being at the playground, I started to take pictures and wanting to learn about photography just because that made it a little bit more interesting for me while we're at the park. And so I took some classes, and then I did a lot of family photography, although we've moved a lot. And so once I would start trying to build up a client base, we would end up moving. And so I never really got it too far off the ground because, I had a lot of fear that stopped me from really putting myself out there. But just having all that experience with shooting the kids and shooting the families, and then small, jobs would come up about, I met a couple of web designers and getting some images for clients' websites was helpful. And then when I met Dani, it really turned into something that was going to be a little bit more corporate and professional, and really made me excited and thought, I'm actually going to be a photographer now. People would ask what I would do, and I would hesitate to say, well, I'm a photographer, but now I'm a photographer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
So you both had that entrepreneurial spirit getting started into this.
Yeah.
What were some interesting discoveries that you didn't expect was going to be required of living and dying on your own, on your own work throughout the day?
I can answer that.
Okay, go for it.
Well, we realized that we had a lot to learn because we were both natural light photographers, which is, a lot of people say that, and natural light's amazing, but it was really that we were too intimidated to deal with a studio light.
Oh, yeah.
So
Much like this.
all the studio light is beautiful.
Yeah.
So we decided to just start saying yes to these jobs. And funny enough, my husband invited us to his networking group and said, oh, you guys are doing headshots. And we had no choice but to use studio light, which we weren't ready for. So we used these funky little static lights that just stayed on, and they were very blue. And but we did it. And
Wow.
certainly it wasn't our best work, but it really motivated us. Like, okay, we need to figure this out.
Yeah.
And their images turned out great. Little blue. But
we felt good about it at the time. Right?
Well, no, I think we were both.
We felt good about the fact that we said yes, and we showed up and we did it.
Just do it, yeah.
And there's just things like we say all the time. There's just situations and things you don't know until you're doing it. So you just got to do it.
And I think at that point it was like, why are we just doing some makeshift lighting? Like, we have these lights, let's do it. And from that point on, we learned what we needed to do, and we've gotten so much more comfortable with it. Yeah. And I think it just goes to show you, like, anything that you try and then you learn, anything can become comfortable. And it's such a good feeling when you actually learn something, and you're then, the sense of pride and confidence.
Yeah, I think a lot of people prohibit themselves from jumping into the world of entrepreneurism because they're afraid that they don't have everything already lined up and laid out, because they want that certainty and that guarantee. And I think your approach is definitely, one of the better ways to go about it is just going out there and just immersing yourself into it. That's how we got into doing live, live streaming and live switching.
I think we had said to each other, there was a point where we're like, okay, we're almost ready to, And then we said, stop saying ready. You're
Yeah, let's
never,
just do
if you're
it.
waiting to be ready, you will never start.
Yeah.
So you just go and because you have to grow, you have to learn as you go. And yeah, that was the best part, to just start.
And it's funny because Anna and I both actually, I mean, we have so much in common. It's crazy, but we both have a set of boy-girl twins. And even just having that twin dynamic, I always would think, God, how lucky they are that they don't have, like, they didn't have to walk into a classroom by themselves. They got, I mean, there's something to be said about having a wingman. and both of us obviously experienced
Speaking
that.
of wingman,
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
you've got Tom Cruise flying above
Yes.
head.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
We'll use it in the show now.
Right. Yeah. But anyway,
That was great timing, by the way.
I think there's something to be said about having a wingman. It makes you braver, because that was a perfect example of me. Is I was just always waiting to make sure the logo was right, make sure on my own, because it was really, I was dancing around taking massive action.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's good having, if you're the point person on a certain project, it's good having that person to be able to bounce stuff off of the other person. Because sometimes what you're seeing may not be what other people see.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So how does that work, though, when you're doing a shoot together? Is the one the primary photographer and the other one doing a lot of the prep work? Excuse me.
No, not really. We have our moments of like a little bit of, Dani is definitely better.
Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat.
It's COVID, no.
Yeah, I know. I always, is it?
You're not allowed to cough anymore.
Yeah, no, you
Stop
can't
not
can't
coughing and
sneeze. No
sneezing.
breathing. No breathing.
Right.
Don't breathe.
Right, please.
We're 6 feet away, though. So it's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
No, I would say Dani is definitely better at posing people than I
Okay.
am. And typically, it's never even really been it kind of just flowed into this, that when there is a large group and there's one shot that we need to take with all of them, she just started to pose the people. And then I would work with the lighting and the camera settings and all of that. And it just kind of became what we rolled with. But typically when we're doing a shoot, we are both the primary photographers, because we just get different angles and we use different lenses and we have different composition. And so people are getting a wonderful array of samples for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes a photo shoot, it really flows well, because Anna might be shooting, someone over here while I'm getting different headshots and a different, different angle.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, photography is a tough business. There's a number of people that are photographers. Everybody with an iPhone 13 or whatever now is the latest version thinks that they're a photographer. I've seen the portfolio, and again, the URL, please share that with people.
Oh, right. DNAphotoandstyle.com.
And folks, we will have that here in the, we're going to have that in the description of the show. So please click on the link below, because I really want you guys to see this portfolio, because that's what I wanted to get to, is that
Thank you.
the portfolio is amazing. Your eye and the composition of everything, you really capture the spirit of your subject. And I think that's key. So with that said, other than the fact that the photos are so dang amazing, what sets you guys apart from other photographers? And how do you get to your clients? Because it's not like you can, go to the yellow pages, for those that remember the yellow pages, and you can look up, hey, person looking for a photographer. It doesn't work that way. So how does that work for you guys?
Well, social media is very helpful. Most of our clients are on LinkedIn, but it's, referrals. We don't, we do market, but man, we have been so lucky with our clients referring us. And I think you had asked earlier, what differentiates us? We create an experience for our clients, and picture day is not just like, picture day. Picture day is fun with Anna and I.
Yeah.
I think
we surprise our clients when they come in. By the time
The interview day is fun with you ladies too.
Oh, thanks.
they typically come in a little stiff and nervous. And then by the end, I mean, they're having a blast, and they sometimes end up turning it into a team bonding.
Yeah, we've had that.
Right.
Yeah. Team bonding, photo shoots. We'll
Yeah.
meet at a location, and that is always so much fun.
Yeah,
We
that's
get the
awesome.
music going, and
Mhm.
I mean, people that end up start out like stiff and not knowing, by the end they're like, okay, get this shot.
Yeah.
How about this one? It's
So
fun to
cool.
watch.
Yeah.
It's
So
fun to
cool.
watch.
So cool.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys have a passion for the community. We kind of talked about that before the interview kicked in. Tell us about that passion for the community, and what are some of the things that really inspire you to make that difference?
Well, we kind of feel that everyone deserves to have a good picture of themselves. We think a good picture isn't just something for the moment. I mean, it's a piece of history. Like, if you have a beautiful picture of your grandmother, that grandmother's not going to be around forever. And to see something so beautiful is so special for people. But how that relates into the community too is, I mean, we've definitely both, we'll do a lot for the local schools for auctions and for, taking pictures of children for just for the schools. And we also have done some work for like animal rescue. So we've done a lot of like puppy photo shoots for labs and more. And
I may know a puppy for you to photograph.
Oh, okay. I think we know that puppy.
We met that
puppy. So we definitely have our eyes and ears open on things that we definitely would do, knowing that it is something that is helpful for, animals, children, whatever it might be. If we're approached by it, we definitely consider it because we think it's special and important.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Dani, you want to?
I would say same thing. I mean, we have, we'll have a client reach out that we've worked with and say, hey, I'm, working with this charity. What do you think? And we definitely do give back for sure. For sure. You have to.
Yeah, you do.
It's the right thing to do. We feel so lucky. And especially, just again, the referrals and the clients we get to work with, and you just absolutely have to give back. And we enjoy it.
Cool. So this is the third episode, and I actually have never asked this question. So you guys are going to get a special question. What does it mean for you? And I'll start with you, Dani. What does it mean for you, Dani, to be a business rock star?
Oh gosh. Well, I didn't know I was a business rock star, but I am very excited. I love it. Again, I just feel like being able to get out there and do cool things. I'm a mom. I have 18-year-old boy-girl twins and a 16-year-old, and I want them to see me out doing cool stuff, and I like always pushing myself. I mean, Anna and I always talk about that. Like especially, we're getting older and we've hit some milestones.
27, right?
Yeah,
27.
27. Reached 27. But it's just, it's fun to push yourself out of your comfort zone, because I think especially nowadays, and especially after COVID, it's easy to kind of, wind down. And we're like, oh no, we're ready. We just keep throwing the stick out further. So that's what's fun.
How about you, Anna? What does it mean to be a business rock star?
Well, just the fact that anyone would ever have called me that is pretty amazing. And I think a lot of it is with myself image, and for what my kids would think of me, is to think that I have something that is independent. And I've always wanted my children to, I hope they can look at me and say that, yes, I'm their mother and I'm there for whatever that they need, but that my mom does something that is hard work, and she puts a lot of time and energy into it. And
that my mom's a business rock star, by the way. I mean, I feel like, we should have maybe get a necklace
where should we go?
Yeah.
The equipment over here.
Yeah.
So
I think that's important, because it's exactly what you're saying about the photos. It's about leaving a legacy.
yes.
If you've got this photo that captures your spirit, you don't want something that's flat and dead and lifeless. You want to have something that shows who you are. It's much like the portraits from that we used to see from back in the day. They seem so much more animated than what we have with all this technology today, unless you have somebody like you
Right.
ladies that have an eye and an understanding of the human spirit and how to capture it.
Mhm.
These are all the important things that I think establish that. So yes, you are a business rock star. So.
Thank you.
We'll take it.
And
Yeah.
ST Metro gives you that full.
Love that title. It's very nice.
You know, one thing you had mentioned before about all the iPhones that are out there, and they are great. They definitely can take wonderful technical images.
Yeah.
But one thing that I feel that photographers differentiate from just having an iPhone is there's so much more that goes into just clicking a picture.
Yeah.
And that is the lighting, and that is composition, and that is knowing where the focus should be, and knowing how to set up the whole picture. So it's
The
posing,
psychology
lighting.
of the shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can have the best camera, the most expensive camera out there, but if you don't really know how to take a picture,
Yeah.
it's, you know what, the photographer with the iPhone will take a
Right.
better picture than
Yeah.
the one.
That's
But
so
besides,
true.
obviously, like depending on how large you want to enlarge something, but the digital quality of it. But
And the client connection.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes
Yes.
practice. It's almost like getting the right poses, and not only poses, getting the right expression, the authentic expression. That is hard. And that takes practice,
Yeah.
and that takes a lot of, just, it's what we do all day long. And you kind of learn techniques. And again, maybe it's a maturity thing, but we know how to connect with humans. And that's really important. And then you start getting the real expressions and the real,
and when you make it fun and people loosen up,
and make it fun.
like when they're on stage, the worst thing you could do is be in your head.
yeah,
You need to be into the music.
right.
So in this particular case, you need to be in the moment for pictures. If you're in the moment, you're able to capture that moment, right?
Yeah.
God, that makes me think, just by what you just said. We were walking into a shoot a couple weeks ago, and both of us had just had stressful mornings with our kids and this and that. And we were both like, wow, it's so crazy that we kind of talk to each other on the way. We always drive together to shoots, and we'll talk and give, each other therapy. But once we're there, it's almost like a meditation, like everything else falls away. And that's such a nice feeling to because you have to focus, you have to get your head in the game, and that's what's nice. And then by the time we're done, we're in a whole different mindset and we're excited, and we go back to our families refreshed instead of stewing on whatever we, dealt with that morning. And like I said, then usually we go to lunch and have a great time. And,
that's
But it does. It's amazing. Once you get started, your mind that's all it is. It's just clear.
Yeah.
And it physically feels good. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So
Yeah.
I've got one last question.
Okay.
We'll come into the close of this episode. So I'm going to go with start with you, Anna, and then we'll go to Dani.
Okay.
My question for you is, having gone through what you've gone through, learning different things throughout this process, what business rockstar life advice do you have for those that have a passion for entrepreneurs, and whether they're going to start a photography business or they're going to open a sandwich shop? What do you have to share with people?
I would say the main thing is, once you have an idea of what you want to do, don't wait for the moment that you think you're going to be ready. I think if you have an idea to do something, you have to do it. You have to just put yourself out there, because otherwise it will never get off the ground.
Yeah, it'll
so
come and pass you by.
Just start. That's the main thing. Absolutely.
Nike, just do
start.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like the best slogan ever.
It is.
Just do it.
They got a good marketing
Start.
over there for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and it does help to have a partner.
Right.
Get an accountability partner, someone else that wants to do something. And when you have each other, you will push each other to do it.
Yeah. Shout out to my partner who's pushing the buttons over here.
Yeah.
Paul. Paul is
Yay, Paul.
he definitely keeps me grounded on he's the good grounded guy. I'm the guy with let's take over the world. Well, let's just kind of master what we have right now,
Right.
Right. So I get that.
Yeah. Keeps you focused.
So Dani, what do you have for us?
I mean, I would say similar to Anna, and because I've been in that position of doing all the things around the thing.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a podcast recently, and it was like, there's a difference between doing something and taking the real massive action that it takes. And I think that that is the biggest thing I've learned is you can do all the right things, be prepared, but you're never going to feel, you're still going to have that like, oh my God, I don't know if I should do this. You have to just do it because the next step will come.
Yeah.
The next step keeps coming, but you can only get to that next step by taking that. Just get going.
Leap.
Yes, do it.
Yeah.
And then it all, we have to still remind ourselves. So like, okay, no, let's get back to why we're here. What's the point? Let's get, it's constant redirection toward where we want to go.
Yeah.
And we definitely know.
Awesome. Well, with that said, I want to let people know in the audience here that this is our third episode, and we would love to have you join us here on stage. We're looking for those business rock stars that want to share their story and share their experience. We're going to have here, right along the bottom here, is the URL to sign up. Let us know that you are interested in sharing your story. We can do this remotely, but it's always nice to have everybody in studio for these.
Yeah.
So please follow that link. Sign up, and if it makes sense, if it's a fit, we'll give you we'll reach out to you and schedule on the show. And with that said, another big shout out to local umbrella media. In fact, you guys are. I'm going to plug you all here.
Oh yeah.
If you can give a close up here. Oh, there we go. I got to get picked to the right camera here. Make sure you check this out at your local San Diego newsstand at one of these many locations. I can't name them all. This one's Encinitas, so if you're in Encinitas, but they're in North Park, there's Rancho Bernardo, there's Rancho Penasquitos. They have a number of these. So Brad and his team over there are doing a great job at spotlighting, and that's how we found out about you guys to be on the show here at ST Metro. And then a big thank you for our folks over at in the publishing side of ST Metro. Great job for the next issue. And in fact, I believe this is the latest issue. So we have a TV show, we have podcasts, we have magazines. We want everybody to know about all the cool folks that are in our community. So ladies, thank you.
Thank
Dani,
you.
Anna,
This is fun.
Thanks for having us.
I'm looking forward to more great artwork.
We are too.
Whether it be corporate or whether it be just for fun. It's pretty awesome. So with that said, I'm going to go to the right camera. Stay tuned. We've got more episodes coming up.